They did not wait for permission. They did not file a petition. They did not hold a press conference or trend a hashtag and go back to sleep. They climbed, with their bare hands under open sky, in the full heat of a country that has taught them that nobody is coming to save them. They climbed and they pulled down the face of their own president. Not in the South-South, not in some ancestral opposition stronghold, in Kogi State, in Delta State, and then, in the moment that should have stopped every political strategist in Aso Rock cold, in Lagos, the city Bola Ahmed Tinubu built, the city he still calls his. His people stood in the street, looked him in the face, and called him Ole, thief, in Yoruba, in his own language, on his own soil. When a man's house rejects him, there is nowhere left to run. Before we go deeper into what this moment truly means and what is being deliberately hidden from the conversation, join this community. Subscribe now, turn on the bell, because the truth in Nigeria has a very short window before it gets managed. There is something the political class does not want you to understand about those billboard teardowns. They are calling it vandalism. They are calling it opposition mischief. They are doing what they always do, finding a way to make the people's rage about everyone except the man who earned it. But a billboard is not just vinyl and aluminium. In Nigeria's political theater, a billboard is a declaration. It says, I am here, I am powerful, you will see my face whether you want to or not. And when the people tear it down, they are not just removing an image, they are answering back. Inec has clear, legally binding campaign windows, dates, timelines, rules that govern when and how a candidate, including a sitting president, may begin public campaign activity. Those windows have not opened, and yet, from Abuja to Enugu to Lagos Island, Tinubu's face grins from billboards that have no legal right to exist. 4 more years, plastered across public space, funded by money that will not be publicly accounted for, in a country where electricity is still rationed like wartime bread. The fly that refuses to listen follows the corpse into the grave. Nigeria has seen electoral impunity before, but rarely this brazen, rarely this early, rarely from a man who simultaneously claims to be the greatest leader this nation has ever produced. Let that sentence breathe. The greatest. Not adequate, not decent, the greatest. The man who in his first act of office detonated the fuel subsidy in a single sentence, without cushion, without structure, without a functioning safety net for 200 million people already standing at the edge. The man whose Naira policy wiped out the savings of an entire generation overnight. The man under whose watch food inflation crossed 40%, not as a statistic, but as a daily verdict delivered to every Nigerian woman standing in a market, doing the mathematics of survival in her head, calculating whether she buys tomatoes or transport. He called himself the best, and somewhere a mother chose transport. Here is what Tinubu's political machinery has missed, and the miscalculation is almost breathtaking in its scale. Governors do not vote. People do. The 32 governors reportedly in his corner did not bring their hunger with them when they crossed the carpet. Their defection did not lower the price of rice. Their loyalty does not pay the generator bill. The young man who graduated 3 years ago, who has submitted 100 applications and received nothing in return, did not stand beside any governor and smile for any camera. His resume did not defect. His desperation did not attend any ceremony. It stayed exactly where it has always been, in the room where he sleeps, on a mattress he can barely afford, in a country that asked for his best years and gave him darkness in return. Nigeria's debt servicing now exceeds its combined spending on education and health. Read that again. We are paying foreign creditors more than we are investing in the children who will inherit this nation. That is not a policy failure, that is a moral catastrophe, and it has a signature on it. The Japa wave, that quiet, heartbreaking exodus of engineers, doctors, nurses, coders, and dreamers fleeing through every available door, is not a statistic, it is a referendum. It is millions of Nigerians voting with their feet because they have calculated correctly that the system will not change fast enough to include them. But here is what is different about this moment. The ones who have not yet left are no longer quiet. They are pulling down billboards. They are booing in Lagos. They are filming it, sharing it, building a record that no press release can erase. Every billboard that falls is a ballot cast early. Every ole chanted in the open air is a verdict delivered before the polling booth opens. Tinubu can collect more governors. He can erect more billboards, legally or otherwise. He can fly in more crowds, hold more rallies, give more speeches about the brilliance of his own stewardship. But the people of this country, hungry, exhausted, clear-eyed, and absolutely done, they are not thinking about which governor stood beside him at which podium. They are thinking about the price of Gary, the child who could not return to school, the hospital that had no drugs, the darkness that came and never left. The billboards are just the preview. The election will be the finale, and Nigeria, tired, awake, and undeceived, is ready.